Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whoever else is watching, welcome to a story so scary even the boogeyman said he won't read it. Before we get started, if you are a scaredy cat, please turn away now. Okay, now that we are left with the brave ones, let's get started. This is the story of Mark, Sarah, and Tom and the Crimson Inn. Mark, Sarah, and Tom were on their way back to their college after a rather jovial summer holiday. They were in their final year in college, and so they decided they needed to refresh their brains before their final stretch. And as they were heading back, it seemed like the best decision they could have made. Not only did they get refreshed from their short trip south, they enjoyed every single moment of it. Although now in the car, everyone was on their phone. Well, except for the driver, Mark. They had made a pact that they weren't allowed to use them during their break. It had started raining and the night was getting darker, so Mark couldn't see clearly on the road. The car's engine sputtered its last gasp, leaving an eerie silence broken only by the wind whistling through the skeletal pines. "Damn it, not now!" Mark exclaims. Mark gets out of the car and realized the engine had overheated. "Guys, could you use our phones to call for a tow truck? We might need one." Mark, already covered in rain, asks the others, but their phones had no signal. Mark could make out a shadowy structural figure just ahead of him. It was what looked like an inn. So he suggested they go look for help there. Rain lashed against the rusted hulk of the Crimson Inn, a decaying monument to past prosperity squatting on the desolate precipice of Crow's Creek. Mark, Sarah, and Tom exchanged grim glances, a bead of cold sweat trickling down Mark's neck. Stranded at dusk in a forgotten backwater with a name like Crow's Creek? Not exactly the postcard ending to their road trip. The Crimson Inn, though imposing in its skeletal grandeur, seemed deader than the crows it was named after. Cobwebs draped the skeletal porch like macabre macrame, and every window gaped like a silent scream. Still, it offered at least the dubious shelter of 4 walls and a roof, so, fueled by desperation and a flicker of morbid curiosity, they pushed open the creaking door. A musty gust of air, thick with the smell of dust and decay, slammed them in the face. Cobwebs clung to their clothes like unwanted kisses, and shadows stretched like grasping claws in the dim, dying light filtering through grimy windows. Silence held them hostage, punctuated only by the creak of unseen floorboards and the occasional drip from the leaking roof. A lone oil lamp sputtered on the reception desk, casting an eerie orange glow on a dusty register and a faded painting of a grinning woman with eyes like emeralds. Mark gingerly pulled the register open, the sound like nails scraping against a coffin lid. The last entry was dated 1942, the ink smudged as if by tears. "John Crow, room 13, it read in shaky script. Something shifted in the shadows behind the desk. Mark spun around, heart hammering against his ribs. Nothing, just the musty air and the mocking grin of the painted woman. They decided to check if any rooms were still habitable, venturing deeper into the labyrinthine inn, each creak and groan a fresh jolt of fear. Room 13, John Crow's last stop, sat at the end of a dark corridor. Pushing open the heavy oak door, they were met with an even deeper gloom, the musty smell replaced by something metallic and sharp. A rusted cot stood in the centre, its sheets stained with a sinister brown. Above it, scrawled on the peeling wallpaper in what looked like dried blood, was a single word. "Run!" The door behind them slammed shut. Terror clawed at their throats. Sarah's scream, shrill and sudden, was cut short by a hand clamped over her mouth. A dark figure, eyes glinting like malevolent stars, emerged from the shadows. Panic flooded their veins. They were trapped. The figure cackled, the sound echoing through the room like a chorus of damned souls. In the flickering lamplight, they saw their attacker, a gaunt woman, her clothes ragged, her face a mask of madness. It was she, the woman from the painting, her emerald eyes filled with a hunger both primal and ancient. She started rising up, still having Sarah in her grasps. Tom was rooted to the spot, and Mark quickly jumped to get hold of Sarah by her legs. Tom snapped out of it and helped Mark in retrieving Sarah from the ghostly figure. Then suddenly darkness and a loud scream. "Ah!" followed by dark, sinister laugh. When the dim-lit oil lamp miraculously turned back on again, there was no sight of the group of friends. But the painting at the reception had changed. It was now 3 young people, 2 men side by side, and a girl in between them, their eyes white and their demeanour heartbreaking. It was the 3 friends, now trapped in a part of the Crimson Inn. Well, that's the short horror story I wrote. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. If you didn't, I'll get better. So you should subscribe as well, no?